everyone, Ryan here, Social Shortcuts. I'm here with Joe, who is a freelance writer, and he has a blog about overcoming fear and about travelling, which is quite relevant to what we do, socialising while travelling, overcoming fear, important part of social dynamics. For those of you who don't know me, I run Social Shortcuts. We help people with social skills for any situation, like conversation, body language, dating. And onto dating, you've starred in a show called A Year to Fall in Love on Channel 4. I was filmed for it a bit as well. Don't know if I'm on it or not. But could you please explain what the documentary is about?
Yep, so it's a new form of documentary where 20 single people across the United Kingdom were all given a camera for a year and asked to film their own dating lives. So for the last year, we're filming the ups, the downs, the will she's, the won't she's, the ecstasy, the heartbreak, all of it, and we've all been capturing it on a camera. And it airs, this Tuesday on Channel 4, so by the time this comes out, it would have been aired and we'll have seen what they decided to show.
Yeah, but A Year to Fall in Love.
Yes.
Yes. So why do you think they chose you to film in the documentary?
So, I do blogs about a lot of lifestyle topics, including dating and relationships. So I think that might have been how they found me. We all had to go through like an audition process, and this is where they found out that I don't drink and I don't use Tinder. And to them that was like, oh my god, then how do you meet girls? This is amazing. We need to. And they even said at the end of the interview process, they were like, the second you told us that story about how you saw that girl stood by the tube and you said hello to her, we were like, oh my god, we have to get him on, because I suppose in 2018 it's sort of a rare way to meet girls. Everyone seems to be on Tinder or getting drunk to meet women these days. So that's why I think they chose me.
Okay.
And that's partly why I asked you to get involved with the filming, because like I said, it seemed like the people at the documentary who made the show, they seemed so curious about that it's possible to just like see someone that in the middle of the day on the street or something and just say hello and build a connection and get their phone number and go from there. And obviously I've known you before I started on the show, and I know that's part of what you teach people how to do, right?
Yeah, how to meet people in the daytime, not necessarily getting smashed, relying on alcohol, not necessarily using Tinder and dating apps as well. Just being able to meet people as you go, not necessarily just for dating either, but to like make friends, networking for whatever reason. Yeah,
so I'm a big advocate of doing that, and I figured like I had this big platform to maybe show people who maybe are sick of online dating and they don't like massive nightclubs, that it is actually possible to meet women the traditional way. That's what they said on the show, the traditional way. And we had a great time. So you took me around the streets of central London, Trafalgar Square and that. You were pointing out pretty girls to me, and I would go and speak to them, and then you would give me feedback on what went well, what I could have done better.
Yeah, because you wanted to work on sort of stuff more to do with dating.
Yeah.
We focus more on speaking to girls, flirting, stuff like that. I would almost argue that the traditional way to meet people of the opposite sex is actually just to get smashed.
Yeah.
For the last few hundred years or so, I'd imagine. But I see your point anyway. So next question is, what do you think you learned about yourself whilst filming the documentary?
What I learned about myself? So I guess we'll do a spoiler for the show, what happened to me. So how to say how much to give away. So basically I did meet a really nice woman, but I'd already decided that I was going to travel the world, right?
Yeah.
So, and I met her a few weeks before. So it's like, oh, he found the happy ending of falling in love, and then he threw it away. Yeah, and I guess a lot in dating relationships in general, and also in the narrative of this show, is that people's happy ending is that you just need to go out there and you need to somehow find like that special man or woman and fall in love with them, and then that's your happy ending. But perhaps what I learned mostly is that you can create your own story, right? That doesn't need to be your story. Why not just create a life that makes you really excited and happy, and then fall in love with that? And then when you do that, you become a lot more fulfilled in yourself, and probably that's the best gift that you can give like the next pretty girl that comes along, right?
Yeah. And so someone entering your life is more of like a bonus rather than you searching for that to make you happy, which I think is much more healthy as well. If your happiness is already there based on yourself, rather than needing some external source to provide happiness.
Yeah. So obviously being on this show, and it's called A Year to Fall in Love, right?
Yeah.
As if if you don't fall in love at the end of the year.
TikTok.
Yeah. So, but because we were given these cameras and we wanted to make the show as good as possible, there was this sort of like, oh, I need to find a woman. So obviously for my own happiness, but for the show as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people might feel like that whether they're on a TV show or not, right? Like, I just need to find that partner and then I'll be happy, right? And I wouldn't say I was like unhappy. The show started in London. It followed me as I made the decision I'm going to leave and travel Europe and Asia, which is what I did. And then I find the girl, and all of that was filmed in the show. And it wasn't that I was unhappy in London, but certainly, and I've not seen the show yet myself, but certainly life got a lot more exciting for me after I left, even though I left the girl behind, which was really heartbreaking. But then I just go and see all these new places and stuff. So I guess for myself, and I don't know how they've edited it, but for me, yeah, it was like an alternative happy ending where you didn't get the girl, but he's just had so much fun and adventure and stuff like that.
So next question, you've known me for a while. What kind of things did you learn from me or from anyone associated with me at Social Shortcuts that helped you with what you were doing on the documentary and meeting women, socialising, stuff like that?
Yeah, so the one thing that comes to mind from like our day that where we were filming and you were teaching me is a lot about like maybe empathy to that. Say you are meeting a new person for the first time, and I feel like a lot of people when they're doing that, they're a bit nervous and all in their brain they're just like, oh, how do I look, how do I feel, what should I say? Whereas something that you taught me was to have a think about how the other person thinks. So even if you were to get the confidence to be like, hi, my name's Joe, you could be you don't know how the other person feels. You could be startling them. They're like, who's this new person? What does he want? Is he a drug dealer? Is he a robber? Like, they don't know, right?
Yeah.
So you taught me a lot about these girls. Like, I would kind of storm over quite confidently, like like just like assuming that they would, be well excited to see me. And then I guess sometimes you spotted things like, oh, she was a bit nervous then. If you had addressed that, then it would have gone a lot better.
A lot of the time people will have like an autopilot response to people that stop them as well. Because most of the time they're sort of handing out some kind of flyer or something like that, or asking for change. So you need to immediately make it apparent that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Which is easier in a relaxed situation, but not in one where it's a bit more fast-paced. Is there anything else that you learnt that helped?
Yeah, just a lot of general things like, like you said, we were in like busy areas of central London, right? So it's just about how to like adapt
it's an
to
easy
situations.
place to practice.
Yes, and
there's so many people around, and from different cultures.
Yeah, so just a lot of just about like if the more you practice at this sort of thing, just meeting people and being social, and how it just gets easier and you can get better at it, and people become more open to speaking to you when you practice this sort of thing. I think that's the sort of, I've seen your content and your YouTube and stuff. Yeah. That's the sort of message you're trying to get across, right? It's like people are just expected to be like good at like social interaction and
some people don't learn. There's not really a course out there to help people learning. That's obviously what I'm trying to give to people. You have a blog about overcoming fear and your travels and stuff like that. What do you have to say about that, and why should people follow it?
Yeah, so I've got a blog at joealvin.com. It's about overcoming fear, chasing adventure. It's a lot about my travels and going around Europe and Asia and stuff like that. Now that the show is out, we're allowed to talk about that more. So if you watch the show and you were interested in it, then that's one reason to get behind the scenes stuff on that. Also, what I've recently made available on the website is like a collection of all the best articles, advice, and videos that I've seen over the years, and that's helped me and changed my life. And it's all been put together in one PDF called the How to Be Fearless Masterclass, and they can download that absolutely free if they're interested in just living life more fearlessly, and that's at joealvin.com/masterclass.
Okay, thanks Joe. So that was Joe. Guys, please subscribe. Tons of content coming on social shortcuts, anything to do with communication skills, social skills, things like that. Check out our website if you want to book a free trial session. Thanks Joe. Looking forward to watching a documentary in a few days after this is filmed, and see you guys soon.